Hello, this is Brad. Today I'm going to show you how to make a 3D mesh from Jwildfire. To begin with, you'll need to make sure that you have the version 1.8 of Jwildfire that you can get from Andreas Maschke's homepage, who, by the way, Andreas, you rock. And then once you have that, when you open it, I'm going to start from scratch. Add a variation. For this, I'm going to use Butterfly 3D. Duplicate it. Get a nice little shape there. And then to make sure that it's going to be in 3D, I come down here to pitch. Enter 90. Then you will see, if it wasn't in 3D, you would just have a line going across the bottom here. There would not be anything going up or down. So then, once you get a 3D flame fractal, you come here to the 3D mesh generator, which is the new tab that is in this new version. And to begin with, you will want to come down here to read these hints. Everything I am talking about here in this video is covered in this hint section, along with a sample flame for you to try. Now the default is 512 slices. For this tutorial, I am only going to do 200. The higher the slices, the better quality that you will get. And then you'll see that you have can go ahead and render views here. You have top view, front view, and perspective. Now, if it wasn't in 3D, in this front view, you would not be able to see anything because it would not be in 3D. So you need to make sure that you have it. And then using these controls here, you can move the lines up and down. And this will define where your mesh stops and starts. And it will also show in the perspective view. So as you can see, I have the top and bottom 3D object. So one thing, you can go ahead and generate it. And you need to make sure that you create it in a new folder. That is very important. So I'm going to start a new folder here. Open the folder. Just name it something, whatever you want. Hit save. Then you'll see that it is making the slices. You can also go to that folder. I apologize for the lag. My laptop is not that powerful, so normally it runs okay, but with the camera software it's going a little slower. Okay, so if you open up the folder that we're using, that we created, you'll see it is creating the slices, which makes up the 3D fractal. And while this is running, so I don't bore you, I'm going to go ahead and pause, and I'll be back. Okay, so I am back, and you will notice here that all 200 images or slices have rendered. Even though it looks mostly black, if you open up one, you'll see little dots. And basically it's those little dots that make up the slices. So now we're going to go here to Fiji. We're going to go File, Import, Image Sequence. And again, I apologize for the delay here while this opens. Then we go to the folder where we saved the slices. Do 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 do. So how are you doing today, everybody? Hi, everybody. I'm just here. Okay. Now the reason you have to create them in another folder for each one is Fiji does not. If we had them all in one folder, it would load all of the pictures. It does not differentiate between what picture is what. So that's why you need to have a separate folder for each um, uh, object you make. So you click on the first one, click open, and you wait. And I'm going to pause while this does this. Okay, and so now you get this sequence options. You want to make sure that use virtual stack is open. You hit OK. I'm going to pause again. Okay, then once it opens, you can hit play. You'll see the dot here. And you'll see that it is building on top of each other. And you want to make sure that it plays through, at least I like to, at least once. You can hit stop. Then you go to File, Save As, Wave Front OBJ. Make the threshold 0. And since it's there's no color to this object, you click off green and blue and hit OK. Save it as something. And then there's 111 here. It's in the same folder that we created the images in. Hit save. Now this is where it gets a little tricky because image J does have, Fiji does have this progress bar, but it is not reliable. So what I like to do go to the folder, and pay attention to the size bytes here. I can also hit right click and properties. And I just wait until the size stops increasing. Okay, so it looks like it has stopped because it has not increased since last time I checked. That's how you know it is done. So I am going to go ahead, now that we have that created, I'm going to close Fiji. Then come here to Meshlab. And then once you are in Meshlab, you go to Import Mesh. Go to the folder where you saved it at from Fiji. It's this one here. And now you see that you have a 3D representational 3D object from Jwildfire. And it looks kind of icky, yucky, kind of dull. So what you want to do is go to Filters, Normals, Curvature, and Orientation. Invert Face Orientation. Hit Apply and close. Now this looks a little bit better. You can move it all around, see it from all angles. And you also go to Smoothing, Fairing, and Deformation. And go to this Taubuin Smooth. Not sure how to pronounce that. And I don't change the settings. Just hit Apply a few times, and you'll see that in the background here, it starts to make it a little bit nicer looking. I hit it about 5-6 times and hit close. Kind of looks like antlers or something to me. So then, once you're done in Meshlab, go to Export Mesh As, File of Type. Again, we hit Object or .obj. We rename it. You get this window here. Just hit OK, and you'll see it working. If you go to your folder, you'll see it here. So I'm going to close out Meshlab, open up Blender, which I love Blender. It's a really good 3D modeling program. And at first, when you open up Blender, you have the default cube. You can just hit delete, hit delete again, go to File, Import, Wavefront OBJ, go to where you have it saved, go ahead and import it, and you won't see anything. But if you zoom out, here I'm using my mouse button, it is way up here. I am not sure exactly why it does this, but if you hit S on your keyboard, that for scale, then move it down and down and down and down, zoom in some, hit S again, keep on zooming this in and rescaling it down and down and down and down and down till you get something close to where the camera is, which is right here. And then if you hit 0 on your numpad, you get the camera view. And then you can move it around here. Hit you move with your right click, then place with your left click. Then if you hit R, the R key on your keyboard 2 times, you can rotate it around. Also, you can come over here to set origin, to center of the mass. Now you can rotate it as a whole object. Get something you like. Then to make it interesting, you come up here and add a material first. Just change the color here. Then you come to the texture panel, click new, click on type, we're going to do a image. Come down here to open. I found a website that has free textures. I kind of like this one here. Open image. Now you need to create a material before you can add a texture. That's just one of the little tweaks in Blender that you have to do first. So now if you go to render image, here we will have the rendered Jwildfire fractal. I'm going to hit escape to get out of here. I'm going to create a light source. I like creating sun. Because I didn't like how dark it looked. That looks good. I like that. But I'm going to right click on the object, hit R 2 times, move it around a little bit. Render again. Okay, I'm going to say I like that one. So once you get something you like, you can go to image, save as image. Create it as, I'm going to call this antlers. It saves it as a PNG file. Save as image. And here we have our completed Jwildfire 3D Mesh Fractal via Fiji, Meshlab, and Blender. And that will conclude this tutorial. If you have any questions, please let me know. For now, this is Brad. Bye-bye.